Hey guys, it's Bawdy back with another RWBY critiques video. Although this week we don't have an episode of RWBY, we have a World of Remnant called The Great War. Actually, I'm really interested in hearing what the Great War was about, because we've been, we've had our asses tickled the whole way through, through 3.5 volumes. So I'm really keen to know what the Great War was all about. Also, just want to remind you guys to head on over to Facebook and like my page, where I'll update stuff going on my channel. And if you haven't already, check out the Facebook page RWBY Wonderland. Tell them Ironwood sent you. Alright, let's get started.
The Great War. What a terrible name for such a horrible time in history. Though the war itself lasted around 10 years, the century leading up to it was filled with so much tension, you might as well lump them together.
Really?
And most of that tension was coming from Mistral. Territories rich with resources and safe from Qrow have always been in high demand. But the Emperor of Mistral had managed to conquer nearly all that Anima had to offer, thanks in part to an unlikely friend, Mantle. An incident in Mantle led to a strange and unexpected decree: the abolishment of the arts and repression of self-expression. The people of Mantle had come to believe that they would be much safer from the Grim if they could simply keep the emotions of the masses in check. Given Mistral's strong artistic culture, many assumed this would be the end of their alliance. But they were wrong. Mistral complied, selectively, enforcing Mantle's wishes only in the outer territories, allowing the centralized powers to continue to live as they pleased. If you haven't caught on yet, Mistral's full of jerks. The people of Vale had a problem with this. Well, they had a problem with a lot of things Mistral and Mantle had been up to. Treatment of their citizens, use of slave labor, and their constant insistence that their way of life was what was best for everyone. Eventually, Mistral made the jump across the sea to the eastern coast of Samus. The small islands and peninsulas in the area were perfect to establish a settlement. They were so perfect, in fact, that Vale had just begun settling the area themselves. I think we can all guess what happened next. The King of Vale did everything he could to avoid armed conflict. Despite cries from his people, he insisted on sharing the land with the settlers from Mistral. But to this day, no one knows who shot first. But what began as a riot between the two bands of settlers would suddenly become the first battle of the Great War. Mantle quickly came to Mistral's side. Battles were fought on both Samus and Anima soil. Villages were lost to both combat and Grim. It wasn't long before Vacuo decided to join the party. Up to this point, Vacuo had done its best to stay out of the fight. Mantle and Mistral, having both already established a small presence in Vacuo territory years before, promised to leave them provided they didn't interfere. Soon, those talks evolved. It went from "don't side with them" to "side with us and you'll be safe." Vacuo did not much care for that. They came to the conclusion that if Vale were to fall, there'd be no one left to stop Mistral and Mantle from conquering them next. So they did what they considered to be the logical thing. They drove Mantle and Mistral out of Vacuo and told Vale they had their backs. So the war raged on. Grim attacks increased worldwide. On the battlefield, this meant a temporary ceasefire in order to deal with the hordes of monsters before returning to the fight at hand. Those left miserable back at home, however, were often helpless with their best warriors away fighting the good fight. A lot of settlements were lost during these years, and most were never reclaimed. Rations on food and dust were put into effect. Development of technology accelerated. Humans and faunas who fought alongside one another became closer. Every day, mankind grew more and more efficient at destroying itself. But it all ended in the Vacuum campaign. Mistral and Mantle knew that if they could take the dust mines of Vacuum, they would effectively cut off the supply of dust to their enemy. It was to be a final devastating blow to Vale and Vacuum. They were only half right. The King of Vale personally led his army to battle alongside the soldiers of Vacuum and decimated the enemy forces. Crowned atop his head and armed only with a sword and his scepter, he laid waste to countless men. As the sand was soaked red with blood, the Grim came in droves. It was the single deadliest battle of the war, and legends of the greatness and terror of the warrior king were born that day. Historians will tell you most of these stories are nothing but grandiose hyperbole. Unusually violent weather conditions combined with Mantle's unfamiliarity with the desert combat are likely what led to such a high death count. But whatever the reasoning, everyone bowed to the King of Vale by the time it was over. The Great War had ended. The world was ready to live under the rule of Vale.
Really?
The king refused. The leaders of the four kingdoms met on the island of Vital, and it was there that they worked together to form a treaty and establish the future of Remnant. Territories were redistributed, slavery was abolished, governments restructured, and the warrior king, the last king Vale would ever have, founded the Huntsman Academies and placed his most trusted followers in command of each kingdom's school. He would teach the world to fight so long as we promised to fight for ourselves and never against ourselves. Seems like we haven't kept our end of the bargain.
Okay, so some very interesting things there to be learned about the Great War. Definitely seems like Miles and Carey did their research while they were writing the script for this World of Remnant. It definitely sounded the way a real war happens and the way real wars are settled. Although the idea that the King of Vale is one that he seemed to apparently be the strongest soldier in the war, as well as the fact that he refused the right to rule all four kingdoms. I don't know, it kind of smacks of a Mary Sue, in a way. Just because it's like, I don't know, it seems too good to be true for the rest of the World of Remnant. Also, the idea that the Huntsman Academies were established by the King of Vale, and that he placed his most trusted followers in charge of the Huntsman Academies. That's also quite interesting for a couple of reasons. One because you know, in politics, it would seem that he would have more control over the Huntsman Academy, since the Huntsman Academies were established to train warriors to hunt the Grim. Number one. But the Huntsman Academies were also established to keep the relics safe, as well as the Four Maidens. So, well, among other things, this also means that the king knows or knew about the Four Maidens, he knew about the relics, and it's quite possible that the Great War was not just simply over land and resources, but it may have also been instigated by a faction similar to Salem, or maybe even Salem's faction. We don't know how old that bitch is. She could be older than Ozpin. Maybe she has a similar situation going on with her, where she's, you know, a person with two souls. Also, the fact that, you know, that the Huntsman Academies were all led by the most trusted leaders of the King of Vale. Politically, that would sound dangerous to me if I lived in one of the kingdoms that wasn't Vale, because that would mean, you know, that if the Huntsman Academy got really powerful, it could spell disaster for me and my kingdom. So I don't know. I wouldn't care too much for that. Although, I don't know, in war to the victor go the spoils. But then again, I would have preferred it if the best warriors from each kingdom were placed in power at each Huntsman Academy. I don't have any more thoughts besides that. This was a really short one. I might upload an extra feature sometime this week, maybe Friday. I went to the movies this past week. I saw Underworld. It left me with mixed emotions. But anyway, so that'll do it for now. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm Bawdy. I'll see you guys.